Matt Gaetz will not be the next Attorney General of the United States. The controversial congressman withdrew himself from consideration today, followed renewed focus on sexual misconduct allegations against him. It's a setback for President-elect Donald Trump as he tries to pack his cabinet with fierce loyalists. The CBC's Paul Hunter joins us now from Washington. Matt, Paul, the Matt Gaetz pick was the pick that made jaws drop as Attorney General. It was just 9 days ago. I mean, how did we get to the point where he's already pulled out?
It's been a long and winding road, David, but one traveled quite quickly, at least this last part of it for Matt Gaetz. Where to begin? Well, first off, it's understood that Gaetz, as AG, was a snap decision by Trump, that he was unhappy with the various names on the short list that landed on his desk after election night. And then Gaetz's name popped up, and very quickly Trump settled on it. You know, we talk a lot about Trump wanting loyalists in his cabinet. Fact is, every president wants people loyal to him, right? But the word you used is a good one. Gaetz is fiercely loyal to Donald Trump, and he's demonstrated that he's a pit bull in his willingness to take on Trump's critics. Bottom line, Trump saw him as a good fit in his eyes. The sexual misconduct stuff is not new. The investigations had been going on for a long time and were, of course, in all the early headlines in the last week and a half or so. Trump knew all this, right, and nominated him anyway. Remember, Trump campaigned on a platform to basically blow up the place relative to how it's been run historically. And this arguably would seem to fit that. It's the kind of person that certainly it's Gaetz's brand to bring that approach to things. To have the Senate not confirm him would mean Republican senators would have to go against the wishes of Trump and turn thumbs down since they have the majority. Who would dare do that, right, given Trump's grip on the party right now? Deny Trump at your peril next election kind of thing. But the headlines kept up. The lawyer for two of the women who've given evidence to the Ethics Committee spoke publicly about their testimony. Damning stuff to hear it said aloud, even if by the lawyer. Sex with a 17-year-old until evidently he learned she was 17, then that stopped. Went one of the stories, travel across state lines rather for someone paying to have sex. All unproven. That's the sex trafficking part, by the way. All unproven. All part of the criminal investigation that led to no charges, but all of it ugly and persistent. There is reporting tonight that Trump called Gaetz this morning to say, not going to happen. You won't get the votes. It's over. And just like that, it was. That's your 9 days.
It's remarkable. I mean, there's the allegations against Gaetz, Pete Hegseth, the defense secretary nominee, Trump himself, a civil conviction for this. But here we are. I mean, what does this mean for Donald Trump now, Paul?
Well, that's more complicated than one might think, I guess I'd say. On the one hand, yeah, it suggests the road ahead for Trump might not be as easy as you might have thought on things like this. I mean, here's his first high-profile defeat already. Republican senators made clear they would not, or enough of them anyway, made clear they would not support Gaetz, and they won, right? Republican critics might say, aha, they've got a spine, right? And thus you might think they'll do that regularly, or at least occasionally. On the other hand, you know, Matt Gaetz was a particularly complicated nominee, roundly hated by many on Capitol Hill, on top of the sexual misconduct stuff. So it could be argued that what played out today is more indicative of Gaetz than it is of Republican senators. And, you know, the next question is, so now what, right? I mean, you mentioned Pete Hegseth, the Fox News presenter, who's Trump's nominee for defense secretary, and who himself is swirling in, as you noted, in a sex assault scandal. Is he in the crosshairs next? I mean, who knows, right? There are those who insist he is immensely unqualified to run the U.S. military anyway, and that maybe that alone should deny him the gig. Who knows? I mean, take a step back and maybe the Republican senators will deny the nominees they deem to be unfit. Many have said that's their job, right? To assess and confirm or not, regardless of who's president, right? Gaetz's decision today took it out of their hands, but yeah, there are others to come. We'll see.
A particularly complicated nominee is quite the understatement, Paul. We'll just leave it there. That's the CBC's Paul Hunter in Washington. Thanks, man. Always appreciate it.